All right, quick little thing here. I had a high school kid that was just in here, and we were talking. I asked him about how school was and this and that. And he's like, "It's been kind of a mess lately," or whatever. And I asked him how finals were going to go, and he basically said, "We don't have finals anymore. It's everything." They basically threw that out, and then now they just grade with a point system in school. And he's a pretty competitive kid. And I asked him how he liked it. And he's like, "I hate it because I don't have anything to shoot for anymore. These numbers mean nothing to me. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I feel like however you do, you're still going to get passed through, which means there's really nothing at stake per se." And he even said that there's a condition they have there where if a student's doing bad in a class, rather than having a bad grade or bad point with it, they can choose to use this kind of free pass per se, so that it doesn't affect their GPA or their point scoring system, or whatever the hell it is at this point in time. Ultimately, at the end of the day, like, a kid has zero accountability in regards to grades and progress and achievement, for lack of a better way to describe it. And this all comes from, from a societal trend of we want to make things comfortable for people. And here's the fact, and we were talking about this, and again, this kid's like 16, and he's so far ahead of so many kids in what he does. And I think some of it comes from athletics and what he's involved with in that world, because in athletics, there's always there's a win-loss piece to it. Not everybody wins at the end of the day, even as much as we want to give everybody a trophy and a ribbon type of thing. Kids know there's a win-loss in sports. Therefore, you learn what you put into is what you get back in most cases on there. But at the end of the day, he's like, I have nothing that I'm driving towards. I'm nothing that I'm shooting for, which takes the game out of it. When you lose the game, you lose some passion for it. Like, with something to lose, you actually end up having to invest more, because you're moving away from the negative feeling. That negative feeling is actually a motivator to improve, to work harder, to grow a little bit, so you accomplish what you want to do, and so you avoid the pain that's over here. And when you do that, when you fulfill those things, that's where the confidence comes from. That's where you as a person grows from, is overcoming the fear, the doubt, the uncertainty, the potential failure that you have in that circumstance. And that's the thing, like right now, we're giving kids a comfort zone per se, that ultimately, because they're never going to learn how to overcome the adversity, the crappy stuff, and the things that don't feel good when you fail on there. That little bit of comfort zone we're giving them now, thinking we're helping them, is actually setting them up for a larger failure down the road that's going to be a hell of a lot more painful and a hell of a lot more costly to them when they're 40 years old, when they're 35 years old, when they're 50 years old, and they can't function in society. So again, lack of discomfort now creates greater discomfort down the road. And until we figure that out, we're going to continue to create a generation of kids that cannot overcome. When you can't overcome, you can't contribute. When you can't contribute, ultimately, at the end of the day, you have no fulfillment in life. We wonder where mental health problems come from. We wonder where lack of good relationships and all these other problems, and people can't hold a job, and people can't ultimately, quote unquote, find what they're looking for on there. It all stems back to this. You have to go through discomfort. You have to take ownership over your circumstance, overcome some adversity, and find a better spot. That's where you develop as a person. If you don't have that, you can't succeed in life. Guaranteed. So our schools need to start to figure this out. Parents need to start to figure it out. And those of us that want to make a difference at the end of the day have to be voices for some of this as well, too.